this episode of Kids Club Anywhere, we're talking about Christmas and how Jesus was the best surprise ever. Mad Libs, Christmas Carol Edition. This is Alex. He's a beatboxer. This is Mike. He's a singer, like a professional one. And I'm Hannah, actress, singer, all around, huge fan of Christmas. So you know how a Mad Libs works, right?
Yeah.
You take the keywords of a regular song and then you fill them with like nonsense words.
Yeah.
Okay,
Easy.
okay.
We're gonna do that with a Christmas song.
That's awesome! I can't wait to hear you sing.
I thought you were singing.
What?
Let's go.
Let's go.
So we went to our local children's theater to find some super creative kids with a sense of humor. The people there were super friendly, and the kids were waiting for us.
Hey, guys. Hi. Who knows what a Mad Libs is? Awesome. Oh, wait, just one more thing. Mike, you actually can't be in here.
I love Mad Libs.
I know, but it's a surprise.
Bye.
So I need an adjective.
Sparkly, soft, clear,
What else?
shiny, crunchy, squishy,
A verb.
jumping.
Okay, I need a place. Here.
McDonald's,
McDonald's.
the Empire State Building, Imagine Dragons,
Who can make up a word?
blaga 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 blaga,
First name.
Gisela.
Uber driver. This is amazing, guys. Who's ready? Guys, let's go. We're gonna hear what we made.
So I finally get to tell you what the song is. Mike is gonna come and perform Silent Night for us right now. Can you believe that? So let's give it up for our friend Mike.
Sparkly night, cute night, all is soft, all is stinky, round yon shiny grandma and child, holy infant so dark and mild. Jumpin' sticky McDonald's. Jumpin' sticky McDonald's. Gold night. Crunchy night. Dragons quake at the Fox. Glory stream from the Empire State Building afar. Squishy hosting blaga blaga. Gisela, the Uber driver, is born. Gisela, the Uber driver, is born.
Okay, so if you know nothing about the Christmas story, here's a quick breakdown of some of the people. First, there's Jesus, God's son, born to save the world. Christmas is a day all about celebrating his birth, so he's pretty much the most important guy to know. And this is Jesus' mother, Mary. She was visited by an angel. First thing he told Mary was, "Don't be afraid." Why did he say that? Because angels are basically God's special ops super strong soldiers, so chances are he was real scary. Anyway, he told Mary not to be afraid and that she was going to have a baby, God's baby. Cool, except Mary was engaged to this guy, Joseph, a carpenter, a good guy who was probably pretty confused about this whole Mary having God's baby thing. So, God sent another angel to tell Joseph, "Dude, it's okay. Marry her and name the baby Jesus." So these two ended up in Bethlehem where Mary had a baby. And that baby was, dun-da-da-da, Jesus. Bethlehem was super full, so Mary and Joseph had to stay in a stable, basically a barn. And Mary had to keep Jesus in a manger. Basically, his bed was what animals ate their dinner out of. Kinda gross. You need to know a few other people too. These guys were shepherds. They were minding their own business, watching their sheep when an angel told them God's son had been born and they should visit him. It was a big deal that God told the shepherds first because people thought shepherds were smelly and unimportant. Also these guys, the Magi. From a long way away, they saw a star in the sky and knew it meant something important had happened. So they followed it for months and months and months until it led them to Jesus. They brought him sweet gifts. So those are the people you need to know about. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, the scary but kind angel, the shepherds, and the Magi. And then, of course, there's this guy.
The Christmas story from the Bible. A surprise is the kind of a thing you remember, and that's what we do every single December. We celebrate Christmas when Jesus was born, the surprise more surprising than any before. It wasn't that no one knew God would be sending a rescuer. That narrative had been pending for thousands of years. They knew he'd appear, but unknown was the when and the how and the year. See, in the beginning, God had created the world, which was good, but he thought his greatest idea had been people. Oh, he loved them so. He gave them the world he had made for a home. But God told them one rule they could never break. There existed a tree that they just must not take any fruit from, not one piece, not one single bite. But a devious serpent said that was a lie. He convinced God's creation they could do what they want. They didn't need rules, he said nonchalant. So they tasted the fruit and they instantly knew that it wasn't a thing that had been good to do. But God couldn't let that be the end of the story, even though we all know that they should have been sorry. He crafted a plan to redeem his creation. His plan was a person, a family, a nation. There's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's whole crew, Judah and Tamar and Boaz and Ruth, Obed and Jesse, David and Solomon. Finally, one baby named Mary. Following, oh yes, that Mary, a girl of great import, for without her part in the story, we'd be short a mother, someone who could have the new babe. Enter the angel. Let's call him Gabe. So Gabe told young Mary, you're having a son. Please call him Jesus, because he is the one who saved the whole world. This was God's rescue plan to reverse the worst curse. Remember that? The first man and the woman, the garden, the lascivious snake, who told them that God's love was not real but fake. Of course, that was a lie. God's love is more real than the things that we know or the feels that we feel. So Mary was in, she believed, good to go, but she was engaged to a guy we'll call Joe. He had reason to fear when the angel said not to, but opposite that, he obeyed like you ought to. So now that you know where this rescuer's from, let's talk about how the guy got here, God's son. It wasn't with trumpets, no shouts, no parades, not a single kazoo. Of course, they hadn't been made. Anyway, the King Caesar said, let's take a count, a big census of everyone, find the amount. We can tax from them all for the glory of Rome. So Joseph and Mary returned to their home. Joe was from Bethlehem. Oh, that little town? Yeah, that one. So they made a trip, looked around for a place they could stay, get married for some peace. But that night wasn't silent, not in the least. On this night had come God's great big surprise. A baby was born, yes, a baby who cries, who spits up and gets up all hours of the night. A newborn born to make everything right. But God did tell some of the birth of his son. They weren't popular nor special someones, just some shepherds watching over their flock when an angel appeared and they started to gawk. And the angel said, you've got no reason to fear. In fact, you should celebrate. Jesus is here. He's been born in a stable, a manger in fact. So get going, get moving. It's time to react. A stable, they may have thought, that can't be right. A savior would not spend his very first night in a manger, the place where the animals eat. That's not quite a place where a king ought to be. But indeed, there he was, just like God had said. A king but no castle or comfortable bed, just a baby, a small tender child who was born, who like no one else ever would save the whole world. Now some magi out east had seen a bright star and decided to follow no matter how far. So they came and they saw and they knelt and they gave frankincense, myrrh, and gold to the heavenly babe. As we get to the end of our story, let's pause. And remember, the glorious part of this all was that God saved his people, the ones that he loves, with the greatest surprise that ever there was. It was small, at least at first glance, just a baby. But pay close attention and maybe, just maybe, you'll see what God plans, that astonishing rescue to ransom his people, and that includes you.
Generous Rex. Latin name, Tyrannosaurus giveitawayacus. At first glance, this massive creature appears to be a predator, but in fact, it has a strange but benevolent little hobby. It stalks its prey in a variety of habitats. It studies their movements, their day-to-day routines. It learns. And when the time is right, it strikes. Watch as Rex roams the landscape, searching for unsuspecting recipients of his goofy little gifts.
It's crazy.
He relies on the element of surprise, which is quite difficult as a 7-foot-tall dinosaur with a top speed of 3 miles per hour.
The dinosaur gave it to him. Because he's generous.
Not every species is used to seeing an extinct reptile, no matter how nice he is.
Chocolate-coated superworm, okay. Where are we going?
When this donating dino isn't spreading Christmas cheer, Rex can be found wandering metropolitan areas, devouring current events, and just generally chilling.
I got a pepper.
Another successful hunt for generous Rex, and an impressive gift delivery spree for an animal with only 4 fingers.
In each episode of Kids Club Anywhere, we give you and your family a big idea that you can try yourself.
So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna show you 3 ways that you can surprise someone with a little bit of Christmas cheer.
Sometimes surprising others in a nice way is a really cool way for you to let people know that Jesus was the best surprise ever.
And it's something you can do even if you only have a few minutes.
Yeah, like 10,
And a couple bucks.
like 5. All right, why don't you go find a treat for our friend Smita,
Okay.
and I'll go decorate the back.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's do it!
Oh!
Giant Oreos, whoopie pies, let's go. Hey, I got the cookies.
Good, I got the bag.
Let's go.
What is this for?
It's for Christmas. They're giant Oreos.
I love them.
If you've got a little more time, why not try baking some Christmas treats together and delivering them to a friend or neighbor? Yum! Or you could go really big. And that's what we decided to do for our friends, the Orrs. The whole Orr family loves Star Wars, Doctor Who, and Lego, so our super creative friends, Dave and Becky, went to work designing something awesome for them this Christmas. First, they got together and talked through some potential designs. Then Dave started building, and Becky started baking. the pieces literally started coming together, layer by layer and piece by piece.
Okay, let's try that again.
Dave cut, glued, and stacked. And Becky frosted, filled, and swirled, all with their friends in mind. These Lego creations would eventually decorate the chocolatey peanut buttery cake Becky made. And on top of that would go all sorts of fun decorations and candy. Fun side note, that sparkly purple shiny stuff on top is literally called unicorn barf, but it's just candy. And Dave made a Lego stand for the cake and put it inside a custom TARDIS. That's from Doctor Who. It travels through space and time, but this cake won't be doing any time traveling. Once that was done, we set it all up on their porch and waited for them to come home and discover their sweet surprise. It was so awesome to bless these friends with some unexpected fun this Christmas. Who's someone you could bless this year? Try it and let us know how it goes.
On this episode of Kids Club Anywhere, we talked about Christmas and how Jesus is the best surprise ever, and how because God made us like Him, we can surprise people with love too. Give it a try and see how it goes, and subscribe for more Kids Club Anywhere.